When you think of MMA, or mixed martial arts, one of the first things that's probably going to pop into your mind is blood. Whether you like the sport or not, it's an undeniable component of the game. So what does that say about the people who partake in the sport? Are they vicious, homicidal killing machines? Well, there's only one way to find out, right? Let's go find one. Oh look, I found one! Ariel Sepulveda is an up-and-coming professional MMA fighter who trains at Next Evolution MMA in Spanish Harlem.
My name is Ariel Sepulveda. That's my fighting name, Smash. I was involved in baseball. I actually made a far in baseball. I was with the Houston Astros like for 2 years, minor leagues. When I got released, I didn't want to go back to New Jersey. My brother owns a bar, like 3 blocks away from here. So I worked there. I remember there was an old man. He was sitting down, and his name is Jose. I never forget him. He was like, Ariel, but you should fight in the cage. I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. So he put it to me, and they were going at it. They were like lightweights. I'm like, as soon as they went to the ground, I was like, oh my God, you could do that? He was like, yeah, you could do that. So immediately I was like, fell in love with it.
At this particular moment, Ariel was training for his first professional title fight. On January 24th of 2014, he would be fighting for the 185-pound middleweight championship in Atlantic City's Ring of Combat. He would spend about 3 months getting ready for the event, and he agreed to let me come along for the ride. Hi, I'm Kiwi Callahan, and welcome to episode 3 of Where I Don't Belong, where I'm going to find out what it really takes to be a professional MMA fighter. In case you're not familiar, mixed martial arts is a relatively new combat sport in which the two fighters are basically allowed to use any martial art they know to win the fight, whether it's by knockout, tap out, or judge's decision. It has a reputation for being extreme because the fighters are subject to anything from chokes to roundhouse kicks, and that exciting unpredictability is part of the reason for the sport's popularity. Admittedly, at first glance, it kind of looks like two giant thugs beating the crap out of each other in a cage. But upon closer inspection, it turns out that they're incredibly well-trained athletes. Ariel's head coach and manager, Sensei Mike Mullero, sat down with me to give me some insight.
It's been an honor, it's been great, seeing him grow. From a guy that couldn't throw a punch, who threw a punch like this, but if he hit you, you hurt, to being a guy to like really putting in perspective and understanding going down the pipe, the takedowns, the submissions, the wrestling now. I mean, he's amazing, phenomenal athlete. But you have to tread carefully. You have to take your time with things. As they say, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on him via what's been told to me. And if he wins this belt, because I believe in the whole positive affirmational when he wins this fight. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I think his career will finally launch.
Days a week, I train for Monday to Saturday. Well, you could say 7 hours or 8 hours a day. It's not like you go to a store and be like, oh, can you give me 6 miles that I run today? How much is that? Or give me 2 pounds or arm. How much is that? No, you gotta make it. You gotta put in the time.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I've ever consistently worked out 7 hours in a week, let alone in a single day. And even though I've taken martial arts classes at the same gym as Ariel for a few years now, I promise you that no one is mistaking me for a real fighter. So to get a better understanding of how an MMA fighter gets ready for the cage, I decided to see if it would even be possible for me to get through one of Ariel's marathon workouts from start to finish. Ariel starts his day with 2 hours of strength and conditioning at a gym in the Bronx. This part of the workout was pretty familiar, and for the most part, I felt okay about how I kept up. Granted, I was only lifting about an eighth of the weight that he was, but I was still challenging myself and it felt good. That's not to say that there weren't moments of utter failure.
No, you don't got it.
Oh, and by the way, Ariel doesn't even run on the treadmill without kicking it up a notch. He wears a mask that simulates being at high altitude so he can really target his cardiovascular stamina. Most people would be done and heading home after what we just did at the gym, but we headed to Next Evolution MMA to work on our martial arts technique. First up was grappling class, taught by MMA coach Richie Torres.
You know, we love him, so of course we want him to win, but at the same time we can't just ignore the fact that this person he's fighting is also training really hard too. Ariel has a lot of tools, so it's very hard for me to put anything for him, like in his toolbox. He already has everything he needs, he just needs to sharpen it, redefine it.
He may not have felt like he had lessons for Ariel at this particular time, but he certainly had a lot to teach me. After warming up, we worked on Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, a grappling art that uses leverage and holding techniques to defeat opponents. The idea behind it is that it doesn't matter how big your opponent is, you can still defeat anyone with proper technique. But while you're learning to do that, you mostly just spend a lot of time being defeated yourself. For the second half of the class, we worked on wrestling and MMA. Ariel never took a break, but after a couple rounds, I needed to sit out for one. Nobody at Next Evolution gets to sit for long though, so it was back into the fire after a mere 5 minutes of rest.
These are the days you really appreciate waterproof mascara.
Next up was Muay Thai kickboxing class, taught by Crew Greg St. Amand. Crew Greg has studied and competed all over the world and focuses his classes around traditional methods and techniques.
We concentrate on almost like evasive and being snipers, and we kick a lot and we knee a lot, you know. It's not often that our style gets into brawls per se, or like big volley exchanges. We like it, but you gotta come to work in order to get us to do that kind of stuff. You gotta be on point. Ariel is a very focused athlete. He knows what it is to work hard. He's intensely gifted, but he doesn't let that get in the way of accepting the work that he has to do in order for that gift to validate itself.
Muay Thai is a style of kickboxing developed in Thailand and is now their national sport. Muay Thai is studied by most MMA fighters because of its powerful kicks and its use of elbows and knees. Traditional training involves meticulous practice of techniques, sparring, and 47 bazillion push-ups, sit-ups, and squats.
I want to die a little. Just a little though. I kind of wanted to puke for about half hour, but I haven't done it yet, so that's good.
The classes finally ended, but Ariel still wasn't done. He often stays behind to do extra strength and conditioning work, so I stayed too. It wasn't pretty, but I finished.
Okay, that's it. Now take it down.
Thank you for following me.
That's it.
What really struck me after that day was that even after all of that, after that grueling, time-consuming, totally unglamorous, not fit for Instagram workout, I had barely scratched the surface of everything that Ariel does. Every coach at Next Evolution contributes to his preparations.
My name is Sean Coffin. I'm the wrestling coach here at Next Evolution. When you have people that want to train and they want to get better, guys like Ariel that, they ask you 100 questions and they say, can you show me this? Can you show me that? They're super coachable. It's like, this is my dream job. This is what any coach would want to do. This is the kind of student that you would want to have. So it's awesome. He's a guy that is humble. You know, you look at him, and I show people, I show my friends, and I show my family. I'm like, look at this guy that I'm working out with, and I'm helping train in wrestling. They see the picture of him, and they're like, we don't want you doing that. You know, they get terrified. I'm like, you wouldn't believe the guy. He's the nicest guy. You know, he's an animal when you're rolling with him. You know, which he should be. But he's a sweetheart of a person. He wants to learn. He's humble. You know, he listens to what you have to say. It's a joy to coach, really.
I am Mike Figueroa. My friends know me as South Speed. South Speed because of me being a southpaw and growing up in the South Bronx. I'm an amateur boxer and a newfound boxing coach and trainer. I think Ariel is just an amazing talent. I'm really just giving him the real pure essence of the sweet science of boxing. Speed, power, mobility, movement, head movement, the opportunity to throw so many combinations for a guy of his weight, his height, his caliber. It's really uncommon, and not too many guys throw a 5-punch combo at 186 pounds. And this guy is doing it with speed and accuracy. And I think that on the 24th of January, people are going to see that this guy's a force to be reckoned with.
My name is Royston. I'm a trainer. I teach Muay Thai. I teach here at Next Evolution. I like to focus on the basics. I think that if you have a strong foundation, well, that sets you up for everything else. All the other stuff can kind of falls into place. When I work with him, I like to work on, again, the basics and balance for him. Because his background in athletics is different, so it's a different setup as far as balance and agility, coordination, and stuff like that. So there's that, and yeah, he's been a joy to work with. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
And when he's not at Next Evolution, Ariel stops by other gyms in the city to spar. He heads to Lifestyles MMA in Queens for Brazilian Jiu-jitsu sparring under the supervision of black belt Fabricio Medici, and for hard sparring, New York Jiu-Jitsu in the NoHo neighborhood in Manhattan, coached by Dave Moy.
I'm Dave Moy. I'm the stand-up instructor here. The gym is New York Jiu-Jitsu, but the MMA program here is workshop. You want to rehearse the way you want to perform, so that's why we spar. And we spar hard so that when they're in the ring, they get hit, they don't freeze up. They've been hit before. That's why, you know, I'll take shots from these guys, but I'll hit them hard just so they know what it feels like to get hit and not freeze.
Last but not least, if he feels like getting even more conditioning, he takes classes at the local CrossFit. Of course, you can't learn to fight if you don't have opponents to practice with. So Ariel's dedicated squad of teammates, like Aldo Gutierrez, for example, are just as important as his coaches.
I try to help Ariel as best as I can. Ariel is basically helping all of us here. You know, he is a role model. You know, all kids need superheroes. Adults need superheroes too. Life is tough. Life gets hard. You know, there's days that I don't want to come, you know, because I had a bad day at work. You know, maybe a patient died, and I try to watch motivational videos. And one of my favorite memories is one day I was watching a motivational video, and Ariel Sepulveda looks at me and he's like, Aldo, you know, what are you watching that for? And I told him, I was like, oh, I'm trying to get motivated. And he looked at me right in the eyes and he said, the only motivation you need is you.
But as seriously as these people take their studies of martial arts, don't think for a second that everything that happens in a dojo is serious.
Real man wear pink. Real man wear pink. There you go.
I actually had a job as a boarding when I was in high school. Let me see. I used to like peanut butter and jelly. So.
Peanut butter and jelly. First you take the bread and you spread it.
It was ridiculous, you know?
I want to see let's see your model walk. Do you have a model walk?
That was it, that's too much.
This side, so you see, they're all good.
So I think we've established that MMA fighters are highly trained athletes and not thugs who fight in cages. But let's get back to that initial question. What kind of person decides to become a professional fighter? As it turns out, there isn't just one kind of person who chooses this path. MMA fighters are actually a really well-rounded group of people.
You have the samurai, who is the servant to the emperor. But him being a samurai, the warrior, he had a yin. He draws. He's an artist. He's into music. You know, he understands the balance. He understands the yin, the soft side. He understands the yang and how that can dominate.
I'm a contemporary artist. I paint on diverging cultures and how they kind of influence each other, and how we are sometimes unaware of what that influence is. This painting, you know, which is a good example of me putting all these different iconic images and figurative images in here, and seeing how they kind of just like really seamlessly work together. And that's what I'm always trying to express, you know, as far as an artist.
And yes, I do like to sing, and I do like to act a little bit. I sing at my congregation. You know, I have a strong faith in God. I follow Jesus, and I give glory to God by singing.
I'm a third-year resident at Mount Sinai. I'm an emergency physician. Graduated top of my class from undergrad. I was magna cum laude, had several minors, very good student all along. And when I'm not here training, I'm actually in the hospital trying to make people's day just a little bit better.
I'm also a father, a single dad, so that's also a reason on why I want to do better, and so he can see that I had it hard way, and he doesn't have to, you know?
All right, let me talk about my son. It's amazing. Of course, my wife is amazing. We're learning a lot, and there's no sleep, you know? But I think he's gonna be a monster of a martial artist. I mean, he's only 4 months, so, you know, I'm just like hoping, but yeah, I think he'll be talented.
They also come from lots of different backgrounds and all walks of life.
You know, I came here in this country when I was 12, but I never thought how I would never come here. You know, over there in my country, in Dominican Republic, you know, it's like we wasn't poor or we wasn't rich. We was like in the middle. You see all of that, you see like they don't eat as well, and you know, and it makes you like, in a way, it makes you like a stronger person. Because you've been there, you lived it, you know? And now you're in a better position, you appreciate more what you have. When we went to the cafeteria, I'm like, wow, goddamn, they give out food for free here? They're like, yeah, you just make a line. I'm like, you could take whatever you want? Yeah, even those cookies? Because I used to love cookie that much, you know, chocolate chip. So I used to make the line, you know, eat, and go back again in the line. I used to love the sloppy Joe. Oh my God, that was like, people find that disgusting, but as soon as I try it, I'm like, damn, this is why people know how to do this stuff.
So I was born in Havana, Cuba. When I was 6 years old, my dad actually won a lottery ticket, which in Cuba at the time granted his family, his wife, me and my sister, a visa to come to the United States. And I arrived here on November 11th in 1989.
All in all, you know, it was pretty normal childhood. Grew up with loving parents. Did okay in school. Sports are probably more of a priority than they should have been, but normal childhood.
I was born and raised in New York, but I lived in the Bahamas for a while on the island, so I kind of got that lifestyle. And then I came back. And I came back to the States. I came back to New York. And so that's kind of where I was kind of molded, those two places.
I lived with my mom and my father, and my mom, she's a cancer. She has terminal cancer. So growing up, you know, it's tough. On a typical Saturday night, street is popping, crowd is going crazy, people outside popping bottles and everything. We're about to go to bed, and we hear 2 gunshots, and it's like, claw, claw. And I rush out of my room, I run to my parents' room, and I'm like, is everybody all right? Is everything okay? And they're like, yeah. and we see like a ray of light coming from our window, and it was a hollow tip bullet, and it just went through my parents' window and it missed my mom's head like by an inch. And that kind of gave me the will and the drive to get out. And martial arts and boxing was the way that I know.
Well, when I was about like 13, I was selling crack in the Bronx, and one of my friends, he was kind of like the manager, you know, the guy who comes, picks the money up, drops the drugs off, whatever. And he lost some work, which is lingo for product, and it was about $500 in crack. And this gentleman that we worked for was like, hey, I'm gonna make an example out of this guy. You guys are young kids, you out here pushing my stuff, and if you lose it, this is what happens to you. So he took his hand and hit it with a hammer and broke his hand in front of us, and sent him on his merry way upstairs, and told him he was gonna work for free until he pays $500 back. So that's the streets. That they're unforgiving. Martial arts has helped me. It gave me an avenue to use that negative energy and put into something constructive.
I was a heroin baby when I was born, and physically, emotionally, sexually, psychologically abused, right? Okay, that takes a toll. Growing up, you're making mistakes. You're not sure why you're hurting people, why you hurt people. But it's obviously because you're still in pain, So in my early 30s, therapy, sitting, talking, being more open, allowing myself to really absorb the world from a different perspective. I started understanding things. At 28, I was baptized into a church. 16 years later of walking as a Christian, and coming from a background like that, God gives me an angel. My wife has been incredibly supportive. She's a pillar. It's just an amazing feeling. It's great. That's all I can say.
And all of these people are coming together now with one purpose: to help Ariel prepare for his fight at the ring of combat. Everything was going according to plan until a week before the fight, when Ariel went in for a routine medical exam. The doctors found a tear in his eye that would prevent him from fighting unless they were able to fix it with a laser procedure. As luck would have it, the procedure was successful. Ariel was supposed to take a week off of training, but you can imagine how that idea went over.
I got eye surgery. What's your excuse not to train? What's your excuse? Got no excuses. I'm here.
Finally, after 11 weeks of this absurd training regimen, it was time to head to Atlantic City. The day before the fight, I rode down to the Tropicana Resort and Casino with Ariel, Mike Figueroa, and Ariel's good friend and occasional chauffeur, Antoinette Silva.
You gotta see him. Watch, when we get to the room, he'll be like, so, what you think of the other fighter? Show me what you think of the other fighter. You're gonna whip his ass. That's what you're gonna do. That's it. We're in this to win this.
Thanks to Antoinette's very creative driving, we made great time down to Atlantic City and had plenty of time to kill before Ariel's next obstacle, the weigh-ins. Fighters are required to step on an official scale before fights to ensure that they're within their weight class. If they're more than 1 pound over the maximum weight, they're immediately disqualified. When you're dealing with that kind of pressure, it's no wonder that fighters tend to arrive at the weigh-in extremely hungry and extremely dehydrated. Ariel was no exception. He hadn't had anything to eat or drink for about 36 hours at this point. To add to the tension, it's also usually the moment that a fighter sees his opponent for the first time. In Ariel's case, it's Keith Barish.
Next 185 weight division, Keith Barish, Ariel on deck. Yeah. 182, good job. 186, good job. Square, please.
Time to eat.
Remember that thing I said about being hungry and dehydrated? Well, don't you worry, Ariel is going to spend the next 24 hours taking care of that. And by taking care of that, I mean eating and drinking so much that he will have regained about 25 pounds by the time the fight starts tomorrow.
It's the night of the fight, so the day of the fight, should I say? Just more of excited of the whole thing and anxious about it. So that's about it.
You know, if you sign up for this, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
You're gonna get hit no matter what. You know, you're not fighting a punching bag.
No.
In the late afternoon, we all started getting ready to head down to the ring. And it was during this time that I learned that our team was in possession of a very special secret weapon.
We gotta put these chinchos in.
As Ariel's coaches and supporters began to arrive, I was finally able to catch up with Ariel's biggest fan, his girlfriend, Kate. Up to this point, we'd only briefly touched on the subject of his relationship.
People are like, oh, you now you don't like Dominican girls, you like white girls and this and that. I'm like, don't call them white, Caucasian. They're Caucasian. What kind of leche carnation? What? I'm like, no, not milk connection, no, Caucasian. They're Caucasian, okay? By the way, her name Caucasian is Kate. So, yeah, so you know, so you won't be like, oh, you didn't say my name. I just said it. Okay, Caucasian Kate.
So I was really excited to meet this Caucasian Kate in person.
We started dating in April of last year, so approaching a year now. He has definitely dedicated a ton of his time to training. He, has his strict routine, and then he's kind of doubled up on a lot of his training efforts. So I sacrifice definitely time during the week. He'll come to my house in Jersey on Saturday nights and stay with me, watch movies or whatever. But we don't go out. We don't do anything social when he's training. So that can get a little bit dry, but it's still getting to spend time with him, so it's not that bad of a sacrifice, I guess. Recently I've been going to the gym with him though, and he kind of kicks my butt at the gym a little bit. Easy workout for him, it kills me though, so but just doing as much as we can and just enjoying each other's company. I have a lot of respect. He's very determined and very driven, and I love him for that.
And then, before we knew it, it was time.
See you guys later.
All right, we're here with Keith Parrish, the new Ring of Combat middleweight champion. That was a great finish. Take us through the rear naked choke.
I've been practicing on this. I'm working on a lot of that finish, that rear naked choke. I put in hard work and I earned this. I know everyone worked hard too, but I'm sorry, ain't nobody working harder than me right now.
Well, it earned you the Ring of Combat middleweight championship. Congratulations, Keith Parrish.
I wish they had the
¿de qué diablo tú te estás volviendo loco?
He was hitting me. I was fine. You know, but after he hit me, I panicked because I'm like, oh shit.
You gotta check it out because we gotta go back to the doctor.
The funny thing is, like when I woke up, I see everybody. I was in the gym. He was giving me bad work. I'm like, where am I? Who bought sneakers? Me?
Man, I forgot Craig was in here.
That's like,
oh my God.
You gotta stop saying that you let people down. You don't let nobody down.
got an array for
I want to, you know, taking pictures of the bell and everything.
That's good. So good. It's not over. We'll be back. I'm sorry.
This road, man. It's out for
I
everybody.
was like, wait, no, that's
It's
not
like
right.
hard. It's a tough road.
You did great. We love you, Papi.
You're not gonna win everyone.
You put in the work. These were the results. Cool. We accept. Back to the drawing board. We'll be back.
We're all gonna be here. We're all gonna be here. Waiting for you.
Great, I'll go back Monday.
Now take a break.
You know, I ain't no guy who take no break.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, you see me Monday over there.
No, I don't want to see him Monday.
Well,
Right, coaches?
No,
No, I don't want to see him Monday.
Monday.
Relax, because you need to reassess where you are, who you are, and what do you want. It's all good.
Just like a brick on the wall, man.
Bravo.
I'm actually
Yeah, some stuff, right? That's a piece of bread. Welcome to room 734.
Where's everybody?
You guys better eat that cake.
Delicious looking, frosty filled chocolate cake.
Chocolate. It's business right here. Look
Leave
at
your
this.
sorrows at the door.
Yo, where's Yo, where's yo, I know like.
Come on, man. This is Ariel.
No, it's not Stanford. Harvard. Hey, there's some cake.
You used to this, right? When I look over my shoulder and everybody's sleeping.
No, he can't go fishing now. Se va a frizar. What are you talking about? It's three of us. We come together.
It's amazing, you know. I never thought I would have like, you know, a line of people like that backing me up. Yeah, it's an honor for me to have you guys here. And I always, you know, I think that man right there and my coaches. If it wasn't for him, you know, I wouldn't be here doing this, you know. You guys motivate me to do this even more, you know.
Yeah.
Thank
Now
you
we
for
can help,
everything.
brother.
So I clap. Why am I here? That's $1 million question. Well, you know, in this sport, you can't expect to win all the time. You have to think about losing and take the loss too. This is what I do. This is what I love doing. Not only that, like my teammates, my coaches, they motivate me to come back and everything. So that's the beauty part of it. Like you got somebody to back you up.